Hey there, this is Classy Train, my first video game I'm developing. In this video, I'll walk you through updates I made to the background and landscape in order to improve the game's overall environment. The first thing I did was create a gradient for the sky. Definitely looks a lot more natural than just the solid blue that I had before. Next, I drew lines to represent each layer of mountains, making sure that each of the lines matched with itself on the other side, so that I'd be able to implement an endless scrolling effect. I layered each of the images on top of each other, so starting with that sky gradient in the back, then adding that largest mountain, and adding each of the smaller ones as I went forward in the landscape. You can see as I fling the train around up here that I implemented code so that the mountains would adjust depending on whether the train moved right or left, so that the player only sees in that white box the sky and the mountains, none of this abyss in the background. There's also a parallax effect with the mountains, meaning that the mountains in the background move slower than the mountains and hills in the foreground, to help give the landscape a more realistic feel. So I also wanted to add something in to give the levels a bit more life. You can see right now in this older version of the game, the levels just kind of look flat. So I thought adding some trees in would be a nice way to spruce them up. I used a sprite to draw this pine tree. It has a nice symmetry feature you can toggle on. And then for shading, I was trying to keep the outer branches lighter since more light is going to hit those. Once I was done with the pixel art, I imported the image into Unity, and I wanted to add some particle effects around it to make it feel less static. Wanted this particle system of green circles to kind of look like leaves blowing from or on the tree. I think it turned out nicely, but the only thing I'm going to have to consider is if the player is going to be able to easily tell that the trees are part of the background and not part of the actual platform that they'd have to dodge or jump over. To add some additional life to the scene, I added some clouds in the sky. I did this first by drawing out a little white fluffy looking cloud and then added two particle effects on each side on the edge of the screen. The clouds move toward the middle of the screen and they generate at different sizes, and then over time they fade to transparent. Thanks for watching. Would love to hear any feedback you have on any of these landscape updates I made to the game, or any other comments about the game overall, and any advice on these devlogs too. If you're interested in following my game's progress, feel free to subscribe to this channel. And if you're interested in video game music like myself, feel free to subscribe to my other channel, Trunko Tunes. The background music for this video I performed and recorded. It's an improvisation of a song I composed that I'm going to end up having in the game. Thanks again, and stay tuned for more.